The Marvels could have one of the worst openings in MCU history. Upcoming MCU movie, The Marvels, is on track to have the worst opening weekend in the entire history of the franchise. This is by Micah Reynolds? Yeah, I butchered that. It was published 18 hours ago and is from the website MovieWeb. Things are not looking good for The Marvels, despite receiving some criticism from a small fraction of MCU fans. Small fraction. Right. 2019's Captain Marvel was a box office success. Unfortunately, it seems that its sequel will not run with the same luck according to recent projections. Brie Larson's Carol Danvers is set to return to action in The Marvels, the follow-up to her standalone film. This time, the story will take place in the present, with Carol joining forces with two other MCU characters in an adventure that mixes action, comedy. This is usually what the issue is with the more recent movies, especially the Thor Love and Thunder, and girl power. Nope, never mind, I take that back. This will be the issue, right here. Because that was the issue with the original Captain Marvel. She was just too much. Too overpowered, too unbelievable at times, with some scenes that felt so forced and so unnatural. It seems that's the direction they're going for here. It is directed by Nia DaCosta. The Marvels presents the famous hero completing different missions around the galaxy, which will lead her to cross a wormhole, of course, that will end up mixing her powers with those of Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel, and Monica Rambeau. Between the three of them, they must find a way to restore order by defeating a powerful villain who remains in the shadows. Who remains in the shadows is probably going to be very iffy. Remaining in the shadows isn't something that MCU does well, which we saw with the Secret Invasion show. The Marvels will be the last big release from Marvel Studios on the big screen this year, after the poor performance of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which wasn't that bad. It was a rather decent movie. It's something you can turn on and have a little fun with, but it's not great. It had a lot of things that went on too long, some jokes that weren't really necessary, and some moments that felt pretty, that didn't need to be there, but I had fun with it. It's something that I give like a 6, maybe a 7 if I watch it again and have the same amount of fun, but it wasn't awful. The smashing success of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, never watched it yet, totally need to, and unfortunately it seems that the new film will be closer to the one starring Paul Rudd than the one directed by James Gunn. Ooh, that was a burn. Ouch. According to Box Office Pro, The Marvels is currently projected to gross between $50 to $50. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? According to Box Office Pro, The Marvels is currently projected to gross between $50 and $75 million on its opening weekend. If the film closes near to the first number, it'll set a worrying record for the franchise, being the worst opening in the entire history of the MCU. Wow. And it wouldn't even surprise me a bit, honestly. I'm not looking forward to it at all. It's probably going to make for some good content for creators that want to just farm some content out of it, but other than that, I can't see it being any fun. I can't see me enjoying it in any way, shape, or form. I'm probably not going to go to theaters and watch it. Probably not going to support it. There's nothing that have been said so far that makes me want to watch it. And with one of the hallmarks being girl power, wow, they're really trying to get people to go and watch it. They're really trying to get people into the seats. This is a movie with strong women characters, but that's not all that there needs to be. These characters have to be characters in and of themselves. What you decide is strength, which is usually just them being overpowered, doesn't necessarily make a good character. Writing a good character doesn't equate to them being strong female characters in a physical regard. While on the small screen, shows like She-Hulk, Secret Invasion, and Miss Marvel were not very popular, in theaters there have been a clear drop in box office numbers. Yes, because they did the same thing I literally just complained about. She-Hulk was not very good. It was very ham-fisted when it wanted to be. Really pushed stuff down your throat on that first episode instead of going about it in a natural way, which they could have done. It could have worked. They could have had the same message if they had the writing finesse to do it, but they didn't. Secret Invasion took the entire mystery out of the entire show by showing you who the Skrulls were, who the bad guys were, making it blatantly obvious in your face, which takes the entire secret part out of the Secret Invasion. If it had more money, maybe, and they actually stayed closer to the comics, it could have been a great show. They should have made it a movie thrown money into it, it would have been a success. I honestly guarantee it without a shadow of a doubt. But they didn't, so we're not very popular as the list it needs to be on. Ms. Marvel was not very good. I didn't like it. There was a few things that I did enjoy. I didn't think the acting was awful or anything. It just didn't really keep my attention. I got bored pretty often. There was some stuff that felt unnecessary, played out too much, scenes that were too long. It was okay, but nothing great. In fact, the studio is aware of that, which is why they've announced a series of changes in their strategies for the future, which starts with Daredevil Born Again, which will be completely rewritten. The original Daredevil was extremely successful. I never watched it, but if they bring back those writers, they could probably have another successful show yet again. I really need to watch the original Daredevil, but I don't know, people probably won't watch any content on that, and everything I've done recently has been YouTube related. I've been on the grind, dog. I really want this to work, so I hope that they bring back the Daredevil writers. I want them to have a banger. I want them to go out of their way and fix their mistakes, because they're losing money, and I don't feel bad for them, but I feel bad for the state of superhero movies if they keep lowering the bar, if they keep trashing franchises and ruining characters and focusing on the wrong stuff to try to just put out the same content constantly, churn out the same thing and hope for the same success. It's literally insanity, and I'm glad that they're being shown that it's not going to work out that way. But this movie, this did not get the rewrite, this did not get the reshoots, this did not get redone. It is basically being hung out to die. The Marvels is not going to make enough money, it's not going to do well enough. There's just no possible way, and they already know that. That's why they rewrit other movies. Honestly, if they take a tax write-off, which is something that I think might be up their alley, they could probably make more money just like Batgirl did. I want it to come out, I want it to be an example of what not to do, or actually surprise me and be an example of what to do, but the way it's been described, I can't see it go heading that direction. I can't see it happening that way. Superhero fatigue is not the problem. The fatigue is mostly with the way that superheroes are being written, how the movies are being written, how the shows are being written. So I'm really hopeful that they're able to find a good balance, that they're able to actually release a movie, the next movie, and learn from this one. But I guess I will see. Some movies come out and they're bangers, some aren't. We'll never know which is which until they come out and we watch them. So maybe this one will surprise us. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst, you know? For more news, reviews, and whatever we choose on all things nerd, subscribe, and above all else, have a great day. Thank you.